Wow, that was great. I love the little soundbite. Everything was great. Sure, yeah. Okay. What do I say? So, you want to hear a funny story? I called Carmen Jones and I said, hey, is Essence doing anything for sports this year at the Super Bowl? Host? I need to be a part of what we're doing. What are the black folks doing? She's like, I'll get back to you. And then she got back to me a few days later and said, we're having our inaugural, she was using a lot of big words, our inaugural Black Women in Sports event. We've never had anything of its nomenclature. She hit me with nomenclature. And because I'm so cool with her, I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. It's too early, it's Saturday morning. What are you saying? And so when she told me, I was really honored. I started off in local news, and I'll make this brief. I started off in local news, and I love local news. It raised me. I was naturally curious, and I saw very few people who looked like us, but when I did see us, I got really excited. And for me, the very first image of a black woman, perhaps a lot for many of you, in a position of power, was this lady named Oprah Winfrey. And I'm gonna tell my age, my mom had me turning the TV. And you sit and you turn and you turn and you turn. And I stopped turning when I saw this black woman who was full of life and looked very familiar, looked like my auntie, and I was just like, wow, okay. And then from that moment on, that was it. That was it. But it was already something God had given me, which I didn't know, but He was just letting me visualize it, and it's been such a blessing. I ended up at ESPN after having that local turn in local news, and there was this young lady who came up to me and wanted to be my friend. Let me tell you how the story goes. I got hired to work on a show called First Take. And I had heard about this girl named Jamel Hill, who was also up for the job. And I was like, I don't like her. Nothing is a lie, she'll tell you, true story. I was like, I don't fool with her like that. She sent me an email. I didn't know how to work the email, but 3 months later, after I finally figured out my email and how to get in there, her and I went and had dinner. And it was and I say this for the women in the room because Richard mentioned it in the beginning. There's so many lessons here, right? We get to a certain age, we're like, no new friends, right? And that's how I had felt in 2012 when I had been at ESPN. I had heard about her from Kelly Carter because Kelly Carter is her best friend, and I knew Kelly and I loved Kelly. And I was like, she cool, she up for the job, she probably don't want to be my friend. You know how that is, because there can only be one is what they make you think. But it's a lie, it's from the pit. And thank God my sister, Jamel Hill, refused to buy into that lie. And we became friends. But I didn't want to be her friend because I was told there could only be one, and that's what they want you to think, so we don't form the power structure that we can. So then we become friends, and it's beautiful. I mean, it was glory days. We were just as black as we could be on ESPN. As black as we could possibly be. And I loved every moment of it. But I did realize what my purpose was while I was there. To quote Mark Twain, but kinda not. That was the day that I realized I would get all these people reaching out to me saying, how do you do what you do? How can I do it? Help me, help me, help me. And I was like, oh, there's not that many of us. And I was struggling. These young girls are calling me, my first couple of years on First Take, I was struggling. Jamel will tell you, I literally tried to quit and she talked me out of it. Was that a roadie of champagne? It wasn't even a glass, it was a roadie of champagne. It was on the road. And the only reason why I was able to stay and survive under disrespectful circumstances, life-changing circumstances, was because I had a friend, and her name was Jamel Hill. She stood in the gap. No one wanted to and I'm not complimenting myself, but no one wanted to believe that I was who I was, that I could be smart, I could be this, I could be dressed, check out the green, I could do all the things. Right, they didn't believe that, or they didn't want to believe that. And she always had my back when they tried to pit us against one another. For the ladies in the room, we are not enemies. We are friends.